Oh, what a night to be a part of the MBL Network. It's going to be fun. We've got the Season 30 Super Bowl coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. But before we get there, we got another edition of Highly Debatable, episode number 17. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I'm OSU. I'm hanging with my man, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, just coming back from Sin City, Las Vegas. Let me ask you this. What was a bigger gamble, the blackjack tables, or whether or not Skype will crash this episode of Highly Debatable?
Oh, the blackjack tables may have taken a lot more of my money than Skype, but I would take the over right now on Skype to crash.
That's fair. That's a fair play. It's a good bet right now. We got a great episode coming up. Super Bowl edition. We'll be talking about, we'll be making our predictions for the Super Bowl. We'll be talking about some of those teams that were in the playoffs. We got some great topics coming up. And as always, if it's your first time joining us, be sure to vote hashtag OSU wins or hashtag Sonny wins after round 3 to vote for who wins this episode of Highly Debatable. Speaking of winners, OSU pulling out the victory last week, 4-3. It's a tight ball game. It was another close episode. That one actually was probably a little bit more differentiated than most episodes. But I just looked in the chat. I'm here to listen to Sonny's mic. Sonny, give him some dulcet tones from the new Sonny Weaver Yeti microphone.
Welcome to Highly Debatable.
Okay,
I'm Sonny Weaver, and I'm here with OSU, and we are here to talk about all things debatable in MBL.
Are they highly debatable?
I think they are. I think they are.
An interesting call here. So again, after round 3, be sure to vote hashtag OSU wins, hashtag Sonny wins, and be sure to join us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/MBL Network at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll have that MBL Super Bowl going live, Chargers and Vikings head-to-head. Should be a great matchup. But let's stop talking about the random things we banter about. We don't plan this banter out very well. It's really just sort of what comes to mind. Let's get to round 1. Got some great topics today. Round 1, an interesting question, okay? Because we're looking at a Super Bowl today, and everybody knows sort of the perennial powers in the NBL. The Chargers is not their first time. Gubb has been in the Super Bowl a couple of times, had a Super Bowl title in season 24. Hop looking for his first Super Bowl title. We've seen the Lions. We have seen the Steelers, of course. Sonny, the question I have for you is, who will be the next first-time Super Bowl contender? What owner do you see participating in their first Super Bowl? Whether it's next season, whether it's 5 seasons down the road, who's the next one to get the shot at the title?
Well, it's really tough to break through. Obviously, we see a lot of the same teams constantly getting in there, the Lions, the Steelers, the Chargers. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints. They've kind of knocked on the door last couple seasons. They're a tough team. They've played some of the best teams in the NFC. And you kind of feel like if the draw got right, I'm not sure the Saints are taking down the Lions per se, but maybe they get on the opposite side. Someone else takes the Lions out. Saints can break through. I really think that Eric's got the New Orleans Saints poised to do really well. Ross Bottom, one of the better young guys in the league. He's building a solid team out there. And I think, I'm not sure the AFC's really got that person to do it. And so I look to the NFC, and I think the Saints are kind of that team waiting to take the next leap.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of that New Orleans Saints team for a while. I love Ross Bottom. I love what Eric's done with that team. He definitely was on my list of teams that I think could be the next Super Bowl contender. The owner I'm going with a guy who had a great season this season. Draco I keep looking at as one of those guys to get there. But I'm going to go to the NFC as well. Because I think, and I'm going bold here, I'm looking at that New York Giants team, and here's why. I know, struggle down the stretch for Fish, but I think that Giants team is set up for success. They've got a lot of great players over there. I think ownership changes in the middle, getting used to the NBL speed, the talent, I think is interesting. Biggest reason is I like their division. Because I don't trust any of the other 3 teams in that division to win a title. And I've played Fish once. I've seen him. I saw a lot from him in that playoff game. He was expected to get blown out in that one and hung tough for a long time. I think that Fish, or as we call him in the NBL, Nemo, you're looking at a guy that wouldn't be surprised to see him not only continue to be in the playoffs, not only continue to win divisions, but wouldn't be surprised to see him catch some guys off guard in the playoffs because I don't think anybody expects anything from him.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think the novelty factor of no one expecting it runs out eventually. He's going to have a whole season in here. People are going to figure it out a little bit, and you look at who actually did knock him out of the playoffs, and that is in fact our good friend,
Oh yeah.
The New Orleans Saints. So, I do think the NFC's got more of those shots. I think one Matthew Stafford injury away, and you could be looking at a new NFC contender out there. Obviously, the Vikings may be the new powerhouse in the NFC. That's yet to be determined. But again, those Saints, they've got some wins over some of those guys.
It would not surprise me whether it's the Saints, whether it's Doughboy and the Falcons for that next new Super Bowl contender to come out of that NFC South, because I like that division a lot. Look out for. I also say look out for. I don't know where they're gonna go. Look out for the Rams, because I like that division, and AJ Baggs is really good. I don't know what's gonna happen, where Serpent goes from here, what they go with the draft. I mean, a lot has to go right for them, but they have the quarterback finally, and I think that's a rarity down in LA. In that LA, there are two LA teams.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, one of those LA teams. All right, anywho, let's get to round 2. Round 2, our question, and we talked about Ben last year after he lost in the playoffs. The question was, is Ben Roethlisberger done? We're going to take a broader look at this and talk about, is there a changing of the guard at quarterback? The question, Sonny, is this young group of quarterbacks finally going to start breaking through, and we're going to be looking at dominance from these guys compared to the old guard, which is Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Stafford? I'm going to say yes, because I am big on a lot of these quarterbacks. And I'm going to throw Carson Wentz in with this young group. He is a younger quarterback compared to Stafford, compared to Roethlisberger. We've already seen Breeze exit the league. I think we're going to see Ben exit the league. Matt Stafford, until he leaves, I still don't count him out, but Jack Gerber, Ross Bonham, AJ Baggs in LA. There are a lot of young quarterbacks that I'm looking at and going, we're seeing a revolution of young talent at the quarterback position, and you're seeing tonight in a Super Bowl, it's a battle between two of those. It's Wentz and Gerber, and they had to go through Ben and Stafford. I'm never going to count out the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm never going to count out the Detroit Lions, because the management is so good. Especially Detroit has those weapons around him. And even in Pittsburgh, I mean, Chauncey Arnold, we saw him have a big game. We know how good Javier Howard is. In Detroit, of course, Harvey Beckham and Montgomery. Fantastic wide receivers. But I think we're seeing a sort of a revolution here, and as more and more young quarterbacks get a chance, we saw Brody Denton in Atlanta. This is a time to be a young quarterback in an NBL.
Well, I mean, OSU, do me a favor real quick. Who holds the single season passing yards record in NBL?
It is Matt Stafford.
Oh, okay. And when did he set that record?
Oh, that was this year.
Oh, that was this year.
Is he playing tonight?
You are right. He's not playing tonight. He is still the top quarterback in NBL. And don't you forget that, OSU. Now, Big Ben, I'll give you Big Ben. Old noodle arm Big Ben may not have it anymore, but as far as changing of the guard, it does not matter if you're second to 10, because unless you're number one, you are nobody. And Matthew Stafford is still number one, and he's going to be number one for the foreseeable future. There's good guys. You've got Jack Gerber, and you've got all those guys that I'm not even going to try to name their names because you just can't name them. Kansas City, Houston, doesn't matter. But in the end, there's still only number one. And number one's Matthew Stafford. And until you beat the man, he's the man.
Till you beat the man? Who beat those Detroit Lions? Who's playing in the Super Bowl tonight? Jack Gerber? Interesting. Yards are cool. And congrats to Matt Stafford for that yardage record. And he will be sitting at home tonight on the couch watching the Super Bowl. He has been beat.
Well, you want to talk about touchdowns? Touchdowns matter.
Is he playing tonight?
Those two.
Is he? I watched Matt Stafford last night. Sonny, I know you were in Vegas.
It's all about the quarterback. It's not just all about the quarterback because Matthew Stafford's not playing defense out there.
This topic is all about
against Jack.
And that's true. I 100% agree.
Matthew Stafford.
No, I 100% agree. It's not. I mean, again, I agree that it's a team game, and I know you were in Vegas. Matt Stafford last night looked garbage. Matt Stafford last night, under the big stage against a division rival who they've already beaten once this year, who they know is a huge game to get to the Super Bowl, came out and laid an egg. completed 50% of his passes in the first half for a guy who completes 75. I understand that they've been let down by their defense at times. That was not the case yesterday. Matt Stafford looked old. Matt Stafford looked rusty. Jack Gerber's playing in the Super Bowl tonight. Matt Stafford sitting at home eating Cheetos.
Well, you used this the other day on me, so let's talk about this one. Ben Roethlisberger was back, but no Le'Veon Bell, and you talk about what that does.
Yeah.
Think about the Lions. They are probably the most one-dimensional team in all of NBL. You're hearing $70 million in free agency. They're going to go out. They're going to get a top running back this year, possibly Le'Veon Bell. We'll see.
I think that's fake news.
Matthew Stafford with something on the ground, and I really do mean something. Just give him something on the ground. He's still the man.
Sure.
All I can tell you right now is the guy is still the top dog. 5,400 yards. Amazing.
And if yards got you into the Super Bowl, that'd be cool. But Matt Stafford's sitting at home tonight, and one of these young guns is getting a ring. One of these young guns is getting a ring, bud. And Matt Stafford, you should probably go over to the YouTube channel.
Carson Wentz is getting piggybacked to a ring, but we'll talk about that.
That's fair. Go over to the YouTube channel, Sonny. I know you're tired. Tomorrow when you wake up, check out that Lions game from last night. Wasn't pretty. Let's get to round 3. Vikings and Chargers head-to-head. Wentz versus Gerber, or probably more likely Gordon versus Gerber. Let's be honest here. Melvin Gordon going out in the AFC Championship game. The Chargers finding a way to get a victory in that AFC title game when it looked like they were going to be denied. Sonny Weaver, you have the LA Chargers on your highly debatable stock market. Are you sticking with your pick? Are you going with the Chargers? Or are you telling your own side, no, thank you, sir, I'm making the smart call and going with the Vikings?
Nope. We're going to stick with the team. It was my number 1 overall pick when the whole thing started, and I took the Chargers, and I'm staying with the Chargers. I think that offensive line is going to run over the Minnesota Vikings, and Melvin Gordon will do something too. But in the end, that offensive line is going to be too much. Carson Wentz is going to do enough to get after it. And what I think you're going to see tonight is you're going to see a different Jack Gerber, a Jack Gerber under the lights who just doesn't function quite the same way. The deep crossing route kind of is going to get taken away by a very fast and very smart linebacking core of the LA Chargers.
Yeah, they're not San Diego anymore.
But what I'll tell you, we'll have to review the stock market game after this because we have people asking. But what people don't realize though is this LA defense is very good. It's very, very good. They lurk that middle of the field well, and that's where Jack Gerber likes to make a lot of his money.
Yeah, I mean, true. If there's one area of concern I have for the Minnesota Vikings, it is defensively. Will they be able to contain Melvin Gordon? I'm still going with the Vikings, and a lot of it has to do with what have you done for me lately. The Chargers needed, an unbelievable comeback. Great for the Chargers for not giving up, but they needed a blocked field goal and an inexcusable pass that has been argued wrong button to get to this point. The Vikings were pretty much in control in Detroit. I like what Jack Gerber did under the bright lights against the Detroit Lions. Jack Gerber was absolutely phenomenal. I like the Vikings tonight because I think it's going to come down to, I think the Vikings can milk that clock with Dalvin Cook and hold it with Jack Gerber. I know the LA Chargers have Melvin Gordon, but I think the Vikings are going to force Carson Wentz to throw the ball because Carson Wentz loves throwing that ball early. I don't know what it is in LA. They love throwing the ball in the first quarter. This Vikings defense forced a couple picks against Matt Stafford. They're going to pick off Carson Wentz. Cook's going to run away with this one, and Jack Gerber is going to continue being stellar, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to bring another title home to the NFC North.
So you mentioned the remarkable comeback there by the Chargers as if that's somehow a bad thing that they came back. But, do we want to talk about the very first round where the Vikings needed a kick return to beat a barely over 500 Seattle team?
What have
even
you done?
Make it out of the first
What have
first round?
you done for me lately? Yesterday is later than 3 days ago.
So
I'm just talking about, as of yesterday, momentum.
Against a really good Steelers team. A really good
Should
Steelers
we talk
team.
about the Los
And the
Angeles
Vikings
Chargers?
limped through with a miracle kick return against
Hey, should we talk about the LA Chargers playing all their starters and losing to my Oakland Raiders in week 17? That was just 1 week before. That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, where does the line draw? I'm talking about lately as in 2 days ago. 2 days ago matters more to me than what happened three days ago and 4 days ago. That's true. Lately, as in the NFC Championship game, the Vikings were dominant. In the AFC Championship game, the Chargers were less than dominant, and some would say lucky.
Well, let me tell you, here's why the Vikings will not win. Because back to that Seattle game, very similarly, Seattle can run, and the Chargers run way, way better. And so Chargers are going to run over the Vikings. I think Gerber is going to be pressed late. He's going to throw some interceptions. It's going to get ugly. And the experience of the champion club member, Gubb, comes out to win that one. Chargers. Big
Jack Gerber
tonight.
has thrown 3 interceptions the entire playoffs. It's going to be the Vikings. Mark it down now. Put a good bet.
He'll throw 2 tonight. Book it.
Anywho.
Book it.
Let's
2 tonight.
Sonny, go back to Vegas. Let's get to shoutouts. Shout-out time here on Highland Debatable. Sonny, I'm going to give you the first go for this one because I have no idea. I didn't ask before the show where you went. I want to see, is nice Sonny coming back from Vegas, or is bitter, angry, tired Sonny coming back from Vegas? So who's your shout-out for tonight?
Oh, I could go a lot of ways with this one. There are things to do, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shout out the NBL Network for another successful season. Here we are, ending the Super Bowl tonight, going through another year. EA, big things happening here on the NBL Network, and I think we're going to have a great broadcast tonight. You're going to get OSU, Lip, and Bomber in the booth. Sonny sleeping on a couch somewhere, most likely, still recovering from this Vegas
obviously
trip,
with the game turned on, right?
Well, of course. And, I'll be listening. But nonetheless, a lot of big things have happened this season. We've added some cool stuff. I know me and OSU were talking earlier today, looking to add some more cool features and things to all of the shows here on the NBL Network. So a lot of big things to come here for the NBL Network. So shout out to all of us.
The old self-pat. Yeah, absolutely. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up on the NBL Network, so don't miss out on that stuff. Again, folks, in the chat, hashtag OSU wins, hashtag Sonny wins. Get your votes in so we can determine who wins this episode of Highly Debatable. My shout-out is sort of a farewell shout-out. A tip of the cap, a salute as we put him on the burning boat and push him out to sea. A salute to Ben Roethlisberger. I am in the camp that I think he's done. If that last throw in the AFC Championship game, that was the pick 6 is any indication, he should be done. But just what Ben Roethlisberger has been for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that steady guy at the helm, get another I mean, this guy is one of the most decorated quarterbacks in the NBL. He throws a lot. Even with an arguably top 3 running back, they throw a lot. But it may be a little premature. It may be me hoping, because I think Ben Roethlisberger should just get on that boat and sail away. But shout out to Ben Roethlisberger for providing an unbelievable experience in that AFC title game, one of the best games I've ever watched, and for being just a fun guy to call a game for. Sonny, Ben Roethlisberger, I know you were in that division. Are you going to miss him if this is him sailing off to sea?
Yeah, and actually, I think OSU, you've got the video montage queued up, right? No? Okay. It was a very nice Sarah McLachlan song.
It was, yeah.
Playing in the
Technical
background.
difficulty.
Yeah, we didn't get it quite ready for tonight.
Look, we have
yeah,
Skype running, so you can't run the video too. It would have crashed everything.
Yeah, Skype would have been gone, so shout out to Skype.
Well, Sonny, and a shout out to Sonny Weaver for pulling this show together and doing a ton of graphics for us on 4 hours sleep coming off a red eye from Vegas. Get a well-deserved nap, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, one more thing. So stock exchange kind of standings here. I think I'm actually trailing by 1 point.
Here are the teams that we got. The Jacksonville Jaguars garnered you a point, and then another point for winning. The Tennessee Titans got you a point. That puts you at 3. The Atlanta Falcons got you a point with a win. Yeah, right. Falcons won their. The Washington Redskins got you
nothing.
Gulpo. And the Chargers, still alive, got you 1 win, 2 wins. So they've got you 2 points right now going into the Super Bowl. So 2-1, 1-2 gives you 6 points. On my side, Kansas City Chiefs let me down in Week 17. Draco, still love you. The New Orleans Saints came away with victory in the wild card round. Got me a point for making the playoffs. That's 2 points. The Vikings, they're still playing. They've got a full 3 points. You got an additional point because the Chargers did make the playoffs as well. So you got 7.
Yeah.
So 3. Yeah, you're down. You are down 1 going into last one, I believe.
Right.
But we'll add that up.
I
we could
think,
finish with a tie, which could be really disappointing.
Tiebreaker will go to me because I'm the champion.
That's fine. I'll allow that.
I win and I win. Go Gub. Gub wins, I win. We win.
Whatever. Thanks for joining us for Highly Debatable. Again, twitch.tv/MBL Network, hosted by our friends over the EA Madden NFL Twitch. We have the Season 30 Super Bowl between the Chargers and the Vikings. Don't miss out on that one. Should be a great game. Sonny, get yourself some sleep. We appreciate you tuning in to Highly Debatable episode number 17. We'll see you next time right here on the MBL Network.